into the next series immediately. Luckily, Spartan playing pretty well, usually an emotional player. Hopefully his emotions are still like high, because he played very well against Cloud9. He's going to need to duplicate that performance if they want any chance against Optic Gaming.
Well, let's see if Spartan can light the fires under his teammates then. Let's see if eUnited can brush that loss against C9, off their shoulders and take down Optic Gaming, who on the other hand are probably thinking, hey, this is our opportunity to really strike here and keep moving through that elimination bracket. Bazaar capture the flag. It's going to be our first game of the series. Wes, talk us through a little bit of strategy here before we see the first shots fired.
I always view Bazaar CTF as a two-step process. It's very different than anything that these players are going to have competed on before in CTF throughout previous Halos. You got to get control of the middle of the map, then you got to kind of pause, wait for them to spawn, and then start to overwhelm their base. It's kind of like walking into a fortress. It's going to be very difficult to breach that fortress if you're not doing it as a team, if you're not doing that with the overshield, the power weapons, and the rockets, and the lightning grenades. And then we're going to see how successful they can be so early on in this game being released.
Well, here we go then, straight into the game. We're watching the point of view of APG, and he's immediately going to manage to get away pretty much unscathed with the power-up, and that's going to be a massive start for them. You can see he's taking a little bit of damage, only a slither of OS left, but he's going to pick up a beatdown. Important kills already going in the favor here of Optic Gaming.
Yeah, Optic Gaming not only gets the overshield, they get rockets, they have the flag in their hands as well. Actually, that's going to be, yeah, it's Optic Gaming. They go down, so it's not going to be a successful flag run, but already primarily picking up the overshield and the rockets. You can tell that they have a great opening strat. Let's see what the rest of this game entails.
On the other side of that, you have to say, even though eUnited did not get hold of those, they've done a pretty good job to hold off that initial flag cap without taking any damage themselves. The flagpole didn't get too far, and now it's just kills being traded across the board here. A couple now fall into the hands of eUnited, but as you can see from the point of view here of Lucid, he's just trying to find that Bulldog, get a little bit of weaponry in his hands. And we've been talking a lot about Halo Infinite West in the build up to this tournament, and you've always said pretty much any weapon gives you a situational advantage that you can pick up on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a main focus of the design for competitive play, was to make sure that we give players opportunity to have situational advantages that they can gain, right? Lucid, this guy scavenges better than just about anybody. I've been watching his stream just for the past 5 days, and he's been going absolutely bananas. Beautiful use of that shotgun. Unfortunately, the kill is traded out, and that was a great job by eUnited to flush him out of that bar area, because that's a very powerful place for an opponent to be.
Well, early on here, it seems like a lot of pressure has been coming in from Optic Gaming. There's been a few attempts at breaching the fortress, as you put it quite rightly, but nothing that eUnited haven't been able to kind of hold off for now. As now we see Pistola, we've seen this man, he's got that competitive drive flowing through his veins at the start of Halo Infinite. He'll be taken down as we now see King Nick, one of the newest additions to the HCS. Let's see what he can do. Picks up the beat down there onto APG, retreats back to his hut here. Now he's asking for help from his teammates just to survive.
Great job by King Nick here to stay alive. Does spot the overshield player in Trippy bottom middle, and unfortunately the dynamo grenade's going to fry him to death. They're going to get rid of King Nick, and now this is a real opportunity for Optic Gaming to advance on the map.
Yeah, let's talk about the dynamo grenades, Wes, because you said to me, treat these things like power weapons. They can clear out bases. They can clear out the likes of the treehouse that we can see Pistola staring at right now very, very efficiently.
Yeah, when you talk about trying to push into a fortress like the map Bazaar, it's so important to try and lead that push with grenades. The dynamo grenades are going to give you so much damage, so much information as far as where these players are, how weak they are, due to the audio cue that you get. It's going to be so interesting to see how they're differently used. Trades coming through. APG picks up a double in the kill feed, and Optic Gaming, they've been able to control the middle of the map. They've got rockets in their hand with grapple right now on APG, and he's looking to push and potentially get this first flag out the board.
Big opportunity here for Optic Gaming to pick up the kills they need. That's going to be 3 down now on eUnited, but is anyone healthy enough and with shields and in position to get into the base and then pick that flag and throw it out the front? Oh, lovely shots from APG. That's a spree for him. 5 in a row without response.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's going to lose his life, but beautiful shots. If you know anything about APG, it's he doesn't miss, and it looks like that's carried over to Halo Infinite very early.
So once again, eUnited, the story of this game so far, Wes, has been they've withheld all of the pressure from Optic Gaming. Can eUnited now move forward? And a real devastating moment here for Optic is they've had these advantages. They've had the pressure on the base. If eUnited get one scrappy run going, that could cause them some problems. That could really demoralize them.
Yeah, I think this is a testament to eUnited's defense so far, right? It's going to be so difficult to kind of break into this fortress for either side. So eUnited might not be winning the battle for power-ups or power weapons in the middle of the map, but they're doing such a phenomenal job of trading out successfully when they don't have those. If they're able to just get a few of those, they may be able to make enough plays to turn this game in their favor.
Well, Trippy working well with Lucid here to try and get that first kill that we were talking about to get into the base. Lucid will pick up another one as well, and all of a sudden, eUnited players are starting to fall one by one. This is the last player alive, I'm pretty sure. This is a huge opportunity now for Optic Gaming to run this flag. Talk me through where you're expecting these players to be respawning.
The flag is out. They're spawning back of their flag right now, and it looks like nobody's going to have a real position to make a play on that flag carrier. So it's going to be punched in, and finally, Lucid gives his team the first lead of the series.
Big plays coming in from Optic. All the kills falling one after the other, and that's the one thing you don't want to happen if you're on a CTF game. Ola doing a good job here to stay alive. Spartan trying to spot him out and finish off the kill, but now it's up to eUnited. They've given away that flag cap. They've been withholding pressure for the entirety of the map. Can they flip the scales here? Can they seesaw that pressure back towards Optic?
Yeah, this is a great position for Spartan to be in, but unfortunately, he's knocked to very low shields. Needs to be very weary of a player pushing out of that treehouse at him. Does spot a player, bottom shield, bottom middle, no shield, finishes that kill, but does he expect this player to be tree? The answer is no, but good shots to back him down, and I love this corner control. It's one of those middle steps as far as progressing on the map, but he needs some of his team to back him up before they can push in.
Yeah, Spartan just playing his life here. Like you say, waiting for support, waiting for the opportunity to push with someone, which is, you know, it can be a little bit frustrating sometimes if you're Spartan and you're trying to put damage down, you're trying to get these kills, and you can't get your teammates into position to help. Well, one person who doesn't need any help is I Got Your Pistola, still doing the things we've seen for years and still pushing his team forward.
Yeah, all it takes is one Pistola to push you out of your corner, get a double, and now just like that, Optic Gaming regain control of the middle of the map. They slow it down. They understand that all four players for eUnited are going to be stuck spawning on their flag. How are they going to push in?
Oh, Pistola's going to force someone. It's as simple as that. That's all he has to do. Gets that first kill. 2-0 fall for eUnited. And you mentioned it. Send in Pistola. He'll get the job done.
I mean, look at this. APG overshield rockets once again. Ola created so much space clearing out his corner, getting that kill into tree. It's allowed his team to get the middle of the map, get both power weapons as they were coming up, and now APG has another opportunity to change the outcome of this game and potentially push his team to a 2-0 lead.
One dead on either side here. And even though they got the rockets and they had the overshield, once again, it's defense from eUnited. Two players fell there for Optic Gaming, trying to push the other side of the map, and APG unfortunately wasn't able to get a huge amount of impact with the rockets that he had in his hand. So Optic now sneaking up into the base, but without huge numbers here, so APG's got some decisions to make here.
Yeah, I would prefer him to be playing sneaky, but he fires off a couple shots at the players crossing top bridge, gives away his position. He tries to relocate front the base. You can be a real nuisance if you can stay alive front the base. It's going to be very difficult still for eUnited to push out. Two immediately get taken down there. A player spawns back thrust, and APG is hot on the press.
He certainly is. Two players spawn together, though, as they try and collapse in. Lucid will pick up one, so a couple of players falling once again in quick succession here for eUnited. Let's talk about Trippy as he's pulling this flag as well. He's currently 14 kills to his name, 7 assists and 10 deaths. The man is playing some incredible Halo, but Lucid 19-7 at this point.
Yeah, Lucid absolutely going crazy right now with the 19-7. Haven't had too many power weapons in his favor, so he's doing it all just with the BR. Typically an unbelievable performance halfway through this game for him. But with only 4 minutes and 15 seconds left, we need to see some life out of eUnited if they have any hope in tying this game up.
Yeah, the concern for eUnited is they haven't even kind of got past the halfway point on the map at the moment. They haven't managed to get into the flag. Those kills that are coming in, though, all in succession. The double we saw, it might have even been a triple just as we moved away. We'll secure them the overshield, and finally, we see the swarm now coming in from eUnited. They've got some map control. They want to push forward, and they need to be aggressive and take advantage here.
Here's the first chance with the real power-up that they're going to have. Overshield on the flag. They're able to slay a few out. It's 2 dead for Optic Gaming. You see the flag being pulled. Rain going to run it right down bottom middle. His overshield's starting to dwindle, so they're going to have to slay out one more time. He does get a trade, but nobody's going to be there to run that flag, and I'm not sure if eUnited is going to have any chance to get this one on the board.
Yeah, it's going to be a return coming in. If Rain wins that 1v1 and doesn't trade it out and stays alive, maybe, just maybe, there's an opportunity to double back and get that flag moving a little bit more. But the trade was absolutely huge from APG. He did not have the first shot in that battle and managed to still make it work somehow. So for eUnited, that's the first time we've seen them going forward. And hello, is that David Walsh? No, it's Lucid. The Needler back doing damage.
I told you he was so good at scavenging for different weapons. He's used the shotgun already. Now the Needler. Lucid is using the entire Infinite Sandbox to have success here.
Lucid moving in. This man has been playing some lights out Halo Infinite, 23 and 8. And you can see it in the confidence as well. Make that 24. The man is destroying eUnited right now. And Optic are going to be feeling themselves as he gets yet another.
I mean, his shot is so crisp right now. One of the best players in Infinite, hands down, and he's giving Optic Gaming all the life they need to take this game one.
So finally, a little bit of calm as Lucid is taken down. I'm sure when he gets back to his feet and re-engages, we'll be getting all kinds of excited again, but not for the first time in this game. This has been the story. Rockets have constantly been in the control of Optic Gaming and constantly in the hands of APG as well. But unfortunately, he can't get any kills this time. King Nick will take him down, and there is still one rocket down there. However, who's going to stop him? No surprise. It's Lucid once again back joining the party.
Once again, he's got the Mangler, he's got grappling, he's got overshield grappled to him. He doesn't have to overextend at all. I love this play by him. Now, let's see if he can try and get into the corner, maybe apply some pressure here, but he gets immediately melted from Spartan in the boys bottom middle. eUnited has a minute 45 seconds left, and the Spartan has just gave them an open.
He has indeed, and the good thing for eUnited is even though they're being heavily outslayed at the moment, it's just one flag, Wes. They haven't managed to put that second in here, Optic Gaming. So eUnited, like I mentioned, it only takes one pull. Yes, they've only had one pull themselves and got that flag moving once out of the base, but it only takes a couple of kills falling very quickly, and the talent that's on this team might be able to turn that into a 1-1.
It's not over yet. eUnited knows what they have to do to get this one in. They just have to figure out a way to successfully get all four dead, find the spawns bottom pink, and then potentially run it. But unfortunately, there's just so much help from Optic Gaming. Every time you see one kill go in their favor, they are able to trade the damage, they're able to trade the kill, and because of it, eUnited never has the numbers they need to get into the flag.
Commando here in the hands of Pistola trying to do some long-range damage, and the survivability of Pistola is something that's almost folklore at this time in Halo history. The man doesn't know how to die without going down without a fight, so he's moving forward at the moment. The rest of his teammates kind of just holding the middle of the map once more, and Pistola's just looking to put pressure onto the eUnited base. Even if EU move forward here, Pistola is going to be such a thorn in their side.
Yeah, Pistola's going to be on the flank, and I do not think that eUnited is going to be able to sniff him out. There's 27 seconds left, so every one of these kills is going to matter. Oh, with the flank. Oh, with the double. The Commando doing absolute nuts. Ola stays alive as well. Re-challenge, and that just shows the confidence. He knows he just made the game-winning play to solidify his team this first game one win. It's going to be all up to the last two players on the eUnited, and with the flag so far away, I'm not sure they're going to be able to close the distance.
It has been so good. However, they got to be careful here because that flag just got moving. And even though we're giving the game away here, a big win from the man on your screen, Rain, and maybe he can get that flag moving once more, but who else but Lucid? I think I might be saying that quite a lot in this series as he picks up 2, will stop the last desperate pull coming in, and Optic Gaming will go up by 1 in the series. Only a 1 flag win, but Bazaar CTF goes in their favor, Wes.
Yeah, that score was not representative of what that game looked like, right? That was a 1-0 win that looks very close on the scoreboard, but it was all Optic Gaming. It felt they've controlled the power-ups, the power weapons, the middle of the map. They basically just couldn't figure out more ways to get the flag run successfully. eUnited was lost for strategy, looking for answers as far as how can they get some objectives done of their own. They're gonna have to switch something up very quickly because Lucid 33 and 14, that's very hard to stop, and when you translate that to his game 2 Slayer, that only means that he's going to dominate even more.
A KDA of 21.7. Sheesh. I mean, Tommy, the name change is working for you, buddy. Forget about saying this is the Lucid show. That is a monster stat line coming in from him. And to be honest with you, everybody contributing across the board for Optic Gaming. For eUnited, though, concerns, you have to say, really struggled just to find any kind of footing in that game. I don't know if it's just a game type that they don't fancy, if it's something that they need to work on. They know they're weak on it. But that's 1-0 down in the series, and when you're in a best of 3, Wes, you can't afford to make too many mistakes.
No, the best of 3 can end just like that, right? You can feel like you didn't even get an opportunity to really compete. And unfortunately, this is going to be their tournament lives on the line. We're in the elimination quarterfinals. eUnited has to win this game or they are out of the tournament. They need to push this series the distance, and they have only a Slayer to do so.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to get back in a Slayer as well. Like you mentioned, the momentum is all with Optic Gaming right now. I wonder how much maybe the C9 losses has affected eUnited, but they're going to have to shake it off right now because they've just lost to Optic in that first game in some style as well. We'll take a look at the highlights as well. And Wes, to be honest with you, if you're an eUnited fan, you might want to turn away from these.
Yeah, close your eyes, take a break, run to the restroom or whatnot. Get ready for game 2 because game 1, you have to chalk it up. You cannot continue to linger on it because it was all Optic Gaming in the kill feed. It might not have been too exciting as far as the objective was concerned, but every single time the Rockets were up, we almost saw APG have control of them every single time. And it was because the rest of Optic Gaming was creating so much space for these power-ups and power weapons to be picked up so easily, right? Like Ola, Lucid, they're all up in your face. They're trying to apply as much aggression. Like that 4 from Ola was nasty. The Needler kill. Shout out Dave Walsh. Lucid doing his best impression here. 33 and 17 to match.
Whenever you see a Needler kill in competitive Halo, there's always a chant, almost a ghostly one of, whoa, she, in everyone's head. I know it's there. Trust me, I've been there. But one thing that I want to talk about with Optic Gaming is, yes, it was a dominating performance, Wes. Slays all heavily in their favor. Control of power weapons, power-ups. Is there a concern for you that it was only a 1-0 game as we look forward to our next game, which is going to be Slayer on Aquarius?
As we go into game 2, no, but in the future, potentially. You have to figure out Bizarre CTF a little bit better in order to dominate that hard. You need to be able to translate it in the score line, but they're done with Bizarre CTF for this series. They're moving on to Aquarius Slayer. They were winning a majority, and when I say a majority, I mean like almost all of their gunfights in the first game. So the Slayer on Aquarius, it shouldn't be anything other than a 2-0 in this series if you're an Optic Gaming fan.
Well, let's see if Optic Gaming can close this out 2-0, or if it will be eUnited who send us to that game 3 and keep their tournament lives alive. Remember, this is an elimination bracket game, so whoever takes this game, this series, I should say, will stay alive, and the other team will unfortunately fall out and have to look forward to next week's tournament. But talk us through Aquarius, Wes. We've got a lot of dynamic spawns across the map. You've really got to keep your head on the swivel.
Absolutely. Keep your head on a swivel. Control the thrust. They're going to be such a pivotal equipment you want to pick up to win some individual fights, to get your team a little bit of an advantage with numbers. You got the dynamo grenades on one side, the heat wave on the other, and active camo is going to be top middle.
Well, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait just a few more moments. You can see the players. This isn't a strategy, by the way, everyone watching right now. That's not something they've planned beforehand. It's a new game, right? We've got to get these little kinks sorted out in the custom games. But it gives us a little bit more time to talk through Aquarius because it's the first time we've seen it on broadcast today. And it gives you, someone who's been playing a lot of games over the last few years on Aquarius, a chance to kind of break it down.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of having one player on your team anchor a base on Aquarius and then start to progressively move up once you get a pick or two. It's a map where you have dynamic spawns in Slayer, and dynamic meaning you can spawn on any side of the map after the game starts, right? It starts on even footing, and then you're open to spawning anywhere. What does that mean? That means strategically you want to get a kill and you want to push the rest of them out in order to not be flanked by the spawners that are potentially spawning behind you at the end of the map, because they're not going to spawn on the same side you killed them on. It's going to be very difficult for that push to come through, but professional teams, they understand that if they wait too long, the timings are going to be all off. So look for the first pick and then absolute aggression after.
Well, if you haven't played any Halo Infinite, firstly, free to play. Get downloading, get playing. And you've watched some previous Halo. Think a little bit like Midship if you're a Halo 2 fan. Think a little bit like Onslaught if you're a Halo 3 fan. Obviously not a flag game type, but a very similar kind of map design with a top middle area. You have the 2 side bases, the ramps up to it as well as obviously the 2 flag bases itself. So a classic arena style map for some classic Halo style game. And we're underway here, and we're going to start off with the point of view of APG.
He went bottom middle, saw nobody, understands that there's a player below him, but this top middle area is going to be so important for him to control. He does have to get back down by these players in the closet, but his teammate actually going to be aggressive. So APG looking to work with his teammate in this closet. Apply some pressure onto these players in the flag, and they're going to have these players on eUnited trapped into this flag. I love the aggression early by APG, and he's hunting them down. Finds one, finds a second, but wisely doesn't challenge, waits for his teammate Lucid to get the kill, and now they're flipping the map back to the other side.
Same old story. Lucid, he started this game. He's 4-0. He's 4-0, Lucid. The man doesn't know how to die. He only knows how to kill, as APG will finally fall 8-3. What a start this has been to Optic, Wes.
I mean, if you watched game 1, you saw the slays go in favor of Optic Gaming. They're starting off game 2 just how they picked up from game 1.
So finally a little bit of a foothold in the game here for eUnited. However, that gets stopped down almost immediately, or as I say, that will actually be 2 kills going in their favor. So Rain's the player we're watching right now. He's going to take some shots from behind, but has found that heat wave, which can be absolutely devastating on this arena style map, Wes.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how Rain wants to use this heat wave. It's an up close and personal weapon, but you can use it from a medium range as well. I love the fact he's going to go into the closet, close the distance on these players' flag, and if he's able to get behind them, this could be a potential moment swing for eUnited that they really need. Unfortunately, he only finds an assist.
And he finds an assist, but while he was making that flank, his teammates have done a really good job of pulling this back. Now 10-8 as eUnited make this a 2-kill game. If you're watching for the first time and you're wondering how Slayer works, it's the same as it's always worked. First team to hit 50 will win the game, as we see a beatdown exchange here. Ola will win the battle though, and that'll make it 13-8, and that might be the opening here that Optic are looking for to push.
Yeah, Optic winning the battle for Camo right now. You see Lucid gets away with it, no shield. If he can stay alive, that would be massive. He ends up staying alive, and unfortunately, Rain gets taken down as well. A very frustrating moment for Rain right there, knowing that he tried to stop Lucid from getting this Camo, and now we're going to have an opportunity to see Lucid Rain tear.
7-1 Lucid in this game. He also has Camo, as if it's not been difficult enough to stop him at the start of this game. Sidekick not going to connect this time, but you can see the kill almost immediately traded out by Pistola. So one thing that's really stood out for me, Wes, is the amount of trades that have come in for Optic Gaming. When one player gets taken down, there's no relenting. It will be cleaned up almost immediately.
Yeah, phenomenal job there by eUnited to get rid of the Camo, but unfortunately they haven't got any space to really work with. They're getting pushed into this flag. Now split spawners coming across the map, and look how fast Optic understand the situation and are able to realize that. Trippy immediately does a 180, gets great damage, which has allowed this push for Pistola to get the double. Pressure onto a third, and these 2 players stuck back flag have got to run for their lives because Optic Gaming is on the prowl.
I mean, this is just confidence personified here by Optic Gaming. They don't just want a 2-0, they want to make a statement against eUnited. Now you're going to see APG moving in. Surprise, surprise. He manages to pick up another kill, and this one started to get out of hand. It was just a couple of kills a few moments ago, whereas as APG lands a beatdown and should be able to pick up another kill after he picks up a reload, and now it's 27-28 to 15.
You can run, you can hide, but APG will gun you down. Phenomenal job continuing to push. It feels like eUnited hasn't been able to get all 4 players alive or have any space to work with throughout this entire game. And not only that, but they're losing their one-on-one gunfights. Lucid once again coming out on top, back on with APG. He's got top middle control, actually misses the jump, but at this point, that's the only thing he's missed.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's been missed by many of these Optic Gaming players, and now he's going to make up for it. Jumps back up, all eyes on the camouflage that's going to be coming up in just a few seconds, but it's just one-by-one pushes, Wes. It's looking a little bit like matchmaking this for Optic Gaming at the moment, because every time they're in a fight, they have 2 BRs, and unfortunately for eUnited, it's just the 1.
I mean, look, eUnited trying to push out front their base, but APG denies the push. They're stuck back flag once again without an answer on how to get out of here. Optic Gaming has applied so much pressure throughout this game, too, that it is looking like eUnited's tournament lives are going to be shortly lived.
Another push coming in. That's going to be 3, and that's going to be Lucid once again. He's difficult to spot when he hasn't got the camo, but this man is about to announce himself to everybody on the map as he jumps up with that side kick. Unfortunately, the camo will run out, but the side kick in those close quarters, Wes, is so devastating. And finally, someone manages to slow him down for just a sec. But as I said, the trade comes in almost immediately.
I just want to pay attention to how much Optic Gaming is scavenging, right? Every time we go to their screen, they have a thrust, they have the pistol, they have heat wave. Like, they're doing such a phenomenal job of using the sandbox on the map to their advantage. And they're gaining their situational advantages, and from there they can turn this lead into a legit stomping.
Ryan Noob though picks up a big win. However, like you say, it is starting to get very out of hand here. Killing spree for eUnited might give them some semblance of a comeback, but who is it again? It's Lucid, who comes from behind. He manages to get that kill, slows down any kind of momentum that was coming in from the killing spree from eUnited. And at 12 and 5 in a Slayer, this man, he's looking like a different animal.
Everybody on Optic Gaming is positive right now. They're phenomenally playing together, shooting well individually, and they're just dominating this eUnited roster that I thought was going to be extremely strong coming into this series. Unfortunately, they've got to play perfect Halo from here on out to even stay in this tournament, and I don't even think that's possible with how much pressure is being applied to them.
King Nick managed to pick up one with the heat wave. A little bit of help coming in from a teammate who actually stole that one away from him. So it's going to be eUnited who's credited with that kill. So a 3v4 advantage on the map for eUnited, but not being able to collapse onto those kills means that Spartan will finally manage to get one, but they're not going to be able to close that gap too quickly. 5 kills to go now. As you can hear the music in the background. Optic Gaming to close this one out. eUnited are trying their best to kind of elongate this game, maybe pull off some kind of miracle, and with a camo in hand, never say never here for eUnited.
Yeah, there's some hope. They have a heat wave with King Nick. Camo in the hands of Rain. He gets the first kill. Can he play his life? They have to stay alive here. 37-43 is very doable. It's a 6-kill game now. As you see eUnited start to get control of the map. And for the first time in this series, it looks like we're seeing some life out of them.
Players trapped on the planter side of the map here. Lucid's going to come in for the battle, but good teammates working together again for that team shot. And this is how eUnited needed to play about 5 minutes ago. Finally, it will be kills going down here to Optic Gaming. They're looking to close this one out pretty quickly, and just 3 kills away now, Wes. You have to say maybe this one, they've just let themselves too much to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, losing their lives in that closet could have been the end of the start to the end of their tournament. Lucid, of course, the one that pushes them in. APG going to be applying pressure to this closet, and with perfect shots, Optic Gaming take the game 2 and the series 50-39.
Question for you, Wes. What was the more impressive performance as Optic Gaming take the 2-0 sweep over eUnited? Was it the one that we just saw from Optic Gaming, or does the one from C9 still catch your eye?
I think C9 is still the team to beat in this tournament. They looked absolutely dominant yesterday. They continued that under the first series of the broadcast today, and they're waiting in that winners finals for another chance to prove themselves.
We're yet to see the new map Streets on broadcast yet, because quite simply we haven't had the opportunity to get there. Here is the stats from the game as well, and one of my favorite stats that's been put into the game, where's the ones that we're seeing? Damage dealt, but also damage taken as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Damage dealt's by far my favorite stat. Looking at the stats, Lucid 4,359, almost 1,000 over some of the other players. That is so much damage being applied by one player in a team Slayer. When you see one of those numbers incredibly higher than the others, you know that that player was doing work.
It certainly was. It's a little bit like when you and I play matchmaking, Wes, and, you know, I'll put up those big numbers and you're just lagging behind a little bit. But, you know, it's fine. We can talk about that another day. Let's take a look at some of the highlights of that map number 2. From the series itself overall, because it was the Optic show. A little bit like it was the C9 show earlier. Unfortunately, eUnited have had to play second fiddle in both of the series.
Yeah, overall, just complete map dominance in both games 1 and 2, right? The middle of the map on both Bazaar and Aquarius, it was owned by Optic Gaming. eUnited kept trying to figure out a way to clear them out, trying to figure out a way to feel comfortable, get a couple of angles, create some space, and they just could not figure out the answer. It starts with winning gunfights, and unfortunately, when you're going up against Pistola, you're going up against Lucid and APG, it's going to be almost impossible to win those gunfights in a 50-50 manner, and unfortunately, eUnited, they couldn't figure out an answer.
One thing to keep an eye on as well is opening strategies as this game does develop. You'll notice at the start of this Slayer on Aquarius that it was Optic who picked up those early kills, and that gives you access to the sandbox, like we mentioned, to move around, to pick up the heat wave, to pick up the dynamo grenades. All these things total up, Wes, and all of a sudden you can see that snowball effect start to take effect.
Yeah, absolutely. You need space, right? You cannot pick things up on the map that are around, like, that are on the 50-yard line or whatnot if you don't have the space in order to do so. You see right there, that kill immediately speaks to me that this player on eUnited is trying to run out front of his base to create space for his team. He just gets immediately forward. And it's things like that were happening the entire series. It's got to be so frustrating to feel like you're trapped, to feel claustrophobic in a sense when you're trapped in a base and trying to be the one that creates some space for your team. But unfortunately, They couldn't figure it out, and that's because Optic Gaming applied so much pressure the entire time.